All right, so I don't know, about 6 months ago I gave a debug talk on all the things that are wrong and horrible that we need to get fixed and everything like that, and really wasn't too bad at the time, but you know, where are we now? It turns out it's really not quite that dire, so we've got some good things. So C++ 11 modulo, like a bug that I know of, is pretty much done. Actually 2 bugs now that Adrian's in the back of the room. Yeah, C++ 11's done. Fission's done, so it's a split dwarf proposal. I'll talk more about it if anyone wants, but that's done too, so you can now have separable debug info on platforms other than Mach-O and Darwin. LTO works. We can link debug executables with LTO, and it doesn't take up all the memory on your platform. Thread local storage works. We now have debug info for thread local storage. This is a very nice laundry list so far. We have a lot of size wins. Those are going to be fun. Unused struct parameters, I mentioned that last time, so I figured I'd call it out explicitly this time. Basically, it was a correctness issue. We weren't getting all the number of parameters in your function. You'll see more. Pub names, pub types, modulo bug that Kent found a few minutes ago that I was unfortunately unable to fix before getting up here. I tried. Type units. Type units should be landed in the next couple of weeks. Dave has been working on that quite a lot. And accelerated access is before the committee, and it's before the committee. Unused struct parameter is what I mean. You know, you've got something like this. You want to print the type. You really want to see that. What you were seeing was that. Now you see this again. So, hey, it's a bug, it's fixed, and you now have debug info for functions that actually shows all of your functions. LTO was actually a huge effort, spearheaded mostly by Man over at Apple. She did an amazing amount of job putting up with Dave and I being nitpicky. So I put this thing up here. So this is what debug metadata kind of looks like. And this is the problem. You got all these references. It looks like this now. What does all this mean? Well, before, this is what linking Zalank looked like. The resulting debug info of 58 megs and 7 gigs of RAM. What does it look like now? Well, it took about 2.8 gigs to link and a little under 10 megabytes of debug info. So about 80% of the debug info went away too. I'll take that. I don't know about anyone else. Size wins from a particular PR. This was the key function optimization that Dave did. Before, we're looking at, you know, that's a lot of bytes. It's a lot of strings. After, well, that. I'll take 77% smaller. These numbers were also included in the LTO, so grain of salt. But if you build a debug info binary today with LTO after all these optimizations, it's going to be about 80% smaller than it was 6 months ago. Bad. It's actually a really short list. I'm pretty happy about this. Reference constants. We still don't emit debug info for standard error. I have no idea why. I'll take a patch. It's very weird. And that's the only bad thing we've got. And then we've got the ugly. And this is where we've talked about during the BOF. We've talked about other places. Variable locations, optimized debug info. And I actually split those out because it turns out we found a bug recently in unoptimized debug info with variable locations where turns out past about here, you don't get your variable anymore. So yeah, variable locations are tricky in LLVM and some work needs to go on to do that. But I'd actually answer any questions, but there's no questions because it's a lightning talk, so I'm going to Disneyland. I'll see you later.